What's going on, everybody? It is Hunter and Jake, and we are back after a long layoff with BoogiePod, episode 63, and we got quite a bit to talk about. With the last couple of podcasts being roughly they ended up being long, but it was for me and you rambling about long topics instead of a lot to talk about. But got a lot to talk about, and it's because mainly, but also we're in the heat of NFL free agency. March Madness is literally in the prime team, and MLB is about to kick off. And there was a UFC card last night, which I totally just so we might do good if I can remember it. But yeah, that is all we got to talk about. But as always, Jake, how's your 2 weeks been?
Busy, but it's been pretty good. Been all right.
That's good. That's good. It's always good, but busy, cool.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. But let's kick it off. So we got a bunch. So first of all, before we get going, okay, I have a list right here. Right, of all the NFL free agents that are notable, and I know for a 1,000%, I left people 1,000%.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay? There's a lot. All right, but these are the notable ones I got. I'm sure I left off some notable ones as well. But we're gonna go through, give them some grades. Okay, we're gonna see what we think about it. First one I got here. Okay, Adam Thielen to the Panthers. What do you think about this move by the Panthers?
We grading it like a letter grade?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, letter grade, and then just kind of talk about it. Don't have to
Adam Thielen, I give that like a C plus to B minus. Like I think he's still okay. I mean, you're gonna have probably a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Well, the Panthers, they traded up number one. I keep forgetting they're all traded up. So yeah, they will have a guy. So I guess it's fine. DJ Moore have been better.
Yeah.
That says a lot. They were willing to give up DJ Moore and then just re-sign Adam Thielen. I mean, they're going to have to, they need a one still, but he's okay. He's a fine player.
I always thought before the Panthers traded, they were more in a prime position for a free agent quarterback, and then maybe still go like if they went and got Thielen with the also addition of DJ Moore and free agent quarterback, I would like to. But I agree with you. He's going to be a safety blanket for whoever they bring in. He's going to be a reliable guy. I don't know how much they're paying him. I know it is a 3-year deal, though, so they're going to get him. I don't know how old Adam Thielen is, but I imagine he is pretty older for a wide receiver, so he'll be a good little safety blanket guy. I don't mind the deal as long as it's not paying him money. It just doesn't make the most of sense with what you're trying to do right now, I guess.
Yeah, great red zone target.
Yeah.
He's good in the red zone.
He is.
Fantasy stuff.
Yeah. All right, and he'll probably be wide receiver 1 there for the Panthers, right? Unless they draft somebody.
I'd hope not.
Yeah,
but he's a good player, but I'd hope not for whoever the rookie quarterback is.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to yours. Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys. What do you think about this one, Jake?
Since he's a wide receiver too, I'll give it an A minus. They give up nothing for him. He just took a $6 million pay cut today. Can't get much better than that, giving up a 5th and a 6th round pick for a guy like Brandon Cooks, who's consistently a near 1,000-yard guy. Even with Houston, he was pretty efficient until it got real bad there for a while, and he was mad at it around the trade deadline about not being traded. And tell you what, Houston made a mistake waiting though, because Dallas wanted him bad the trade deadline, and Houston wanted us to pay his entire salary and like a 2nd or 3rd round pick. So we waited, played the long game, got him for about nothing. So I like that move a lot. I'm really excited about that.
I thought it was a great move. I thought Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys made like all the sense in the world originally, and then you get him for a 5th round, 6th round pick, which is basically like nothing. The only time you're ever going to hit on a 5th or 6th round pick is by complete luck anyway. And I think you were the one that even mentioned you still have a 5th round pick this year anyway. You didn't really give up. It's a credential. So I think it's a great move. I'm giving it a letter grade, probably like an A plus even. I love it. I love it. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially for Daiquiri. He needs him a little help. I think Brandon Cooks will help. Let's move on. Mike Gesicki to the Patriots.
I actually don't like that move. I like Mike Gesicki though. Old Murph likes Gesicki. He's a cool player. He's fine, but I'll give it like a C plus. It kind of seems unnecessary. I don't know what they gave up for him, so it's probably a little higher than C plus. They didn't pay much for him because he's a fine player. But didn't they have? I wonder if they still have Hunter Henry, because I'd say Hunter Henry is just as good as him.
Yeah,
similar.
Yeah, Mike Gesicki's better catcher. Tight end.
Yeah, I think the reason the Dolphins to get him back because they don't really need a tight end right now with what they've got with the other passing game. They don't need to keep a guy who's older like that, so it's fine move. Patriots got a lot bigger problems than tight end though. So
yeah, they do. They got. I mean, Matt Jones is going into what fourth year, third year.
Third now.
Yeah, he's gonna have to start. He's gonna start clicking a little bit after his rookie year.
Got Juju now, so we'll talk about that one maybe.
That's
true.
Juju. That's true. Matt Jones doesn't have any help. I mean, it's not his fault. But what I think about the move is I think it does provide a better catching tight end for Matt Jones, so I don't mind it. I think it's okay. It's a little bit of an upgrade. I think receiver is a little bit more of a question. Like you mentioned Juju, I don't talk about him. But that's a good move, but I think Juju's I think he was kind of carried by Patrick Mahomes a little bit last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of a move that is. Patriots need to go round one, I think. I think they need to go big time. Mm-hmm. They need to get their guy. And I like to see Quentin Johnson at Patriots. I think that looks smooth. They need a big end, dude, like a tall guy.
They do.
And but I don't mind this move. I think it helps Matt Jones. Here we go. Here's a good one. Darren Waller to the Giants.
I give this one B-. Waller, I think he has some injury problems. Giants have no real pass catching threats, so there you go. You got one for Daniel Jones now. It's not a bad move at all. I think he's a little older now. He's a good player, but yeah, I think it made sense for the Raiders to move on and trade him away. They didn't get a lot. They didn't have to give up too much, like a third-round pick, which you could argue is border not steep, but like you can't give up no more than a third-round pick for Darren Waller. Yeah. But it was a good move. I like the move for the Giants.
Yeah, I thought it was too. Give Daniel Jones. They obviously still need a little more. I think still need that guy there for Danny Dimes. But I like the move for Darren Waller. Thought it was a good move. Raiders are kind of getting stuck in. They're playing the mid game right, where they get rid of some good players and then they go get some good. That's not where you want to be. You want to be either really well or you want to sell. You don't want to be in the middle. So for Raiders standpoint, bad. But Giants, I like the move. I think Darren Waller's a good player. He needs to stay healthy. If he don't stay healthy, it don't matter. So he needs to stay healthy this year, unlike last year. But if he can do that, I think it's good. He'll be just. Here we go, big one. Jalen Ramsey to the
Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey's pretty good. They didn't give up very much for Jalen Ramsey. I would say they're probably paying a good amount of his salary though.
Yeah.
Which I think Miami's got to be doing something weird with money because they're making moves all the time. They still have cap space. Don't really know how that works, but I'd like to see how they do that. They're like the Rams a couple of years ago when they won the Super Bowl. They just kept signing everybody and they had infinite money for some reason. It's a good move. It's a really good move. The Rams, I don't like it for them though, obviously, because they're trading away a great player for a third-round pick, a backup tight end or something. I forgot his name, but good for Miami. Really good. Tua and that team now, they got to go now. They're win-now mode. It's time.
Tua got no excuse.
Just gotta stay healthy.
Gotta stay healthy for Tua. Gotta stay healthy for Tua. Because there's a chance he could have, because he was off to a great start at the beginning of last year. Mm-hmm. He could be off to a great start this year, get hurt, and they move on from him. That's a real possibility.
They will, I think. Yeah. They will do that.
And that would suck, really. And for Tua, and there's a chance he could be out of a job because of health, which would suck for Tua. But I love this move. Anytime you get a lockdown corner, there ain't any in the league. When you get one, it don't matter really what you get. Completely worth it. All right, let's move on. Speaking of lockdown corners, Stephon Gilmore, the Cowboys.
I give that one an A as well. Not as good as John Ramsey. He's a little older. I would say he's on the end of his prime. We got him for a year. I'll take that. Salaries, I don't know what his salary looks like, actually. It's not bad. Gave up a fifth-round pick, I believe, for Gilmore.
I'm not sure.
So, I know it was a fifth-round pick or a sixth, but got him and Trayvon Diggs. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's definitely one of the best corner duos in the league now.
Corner, right? He'll be behind Trayvon Diggs, you would think?
Yeah, probably. It wouldn't shock me if you see him on the one guy occasionally, though, because Diggs, he can be off sometimes, but he is a good player. So
either way, if you have Trayvon Diggs at 2 or Stephon Gilmore at 2, you're doing something right, for sure.
Yeah.
And you get those lockdown corners, that buys more time for the boy Micah Parsons to eat. So it's all coming together on the defense. And you got Dylan back there. I'm excited for the Cowboys this year. I think they're all right. Let's move on. Allen Lazard for the Jets.
I give this like a D. They paid too much for him.
Yeah.
It actually makes no sense. I might go lower than D. I could go F. They got Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore on that team right now. That's a good, really good one and a really pretty good two. Why are you going out and giving Alan Lazard a pretty decent sized contract? I mean, I know they want Aaron Rodgers, and that's a Rodgers guy. But if it's Alan Lazard, he's solid, but I really don't understand this move for them. I don't get that move for the Jets. They got to focus on other things right now besides depth at wide receiver. I mean, I don't know.
Here's my way to look at this signing. The way I look at this signing is if you get Aaron Rodgers, completely worth it. Don't matter.
It is, yeah.
If you don't get Aaron Rodgers, it's a waste. That's the way I look at it. So either great move or bad move. So this comes down if they get Aaron Rodgers. Here's an interesting one. Jimmy G to the Raiders.
I'll stick in the middle and say a C because that's what the Raiders are doing. They're sticking in the middle like you were saying.
Yep.
I don't really understand trading Derek Carr and probably downgrading.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy G is a fine player. I've said that a lot about some of these guys. They're fine players, but you downgraded now. If I were them, I would be looking to take a quarterback if you like one in the draft and let Jimmy G be your bridge guy because great bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best bridge quarterbacks you can actually have.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he's a good player, but if Derek Carr ain't going to take you anywhere ever, then I don't see Jimmy G doing it. I think there's a reason it took forever for him to get signed. Even this past season when the Niners were letting him go, supposedly, no one wanted him. It's because everyone knows the Niners. You don't need a good quarterback to win at the Niners.
Yeah.
So, but he is good, but
why get Jimmy G if you're going to give away Darren Waller, though? Darren Waller helped Jimmy G.
I got Devontae Adams, so they're fine. But, yeah.
True, but, man,
I think,
they messed up.
You asked that, though, but I saw a report. This could be true. This could not be true. It was by, like, a bigger outlet, though. Like, it wasn't ESPN, but it was a Bleacher Report or somebody saying that there's a rumor that during the bye week, he texts everyone saying he'd be back and didn't talk to nobody for a week or two. Darren Waller did. Like, he might be kind of a locker room issue, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't put that on the record, though. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I've seen. So
Rumors.
You never know what the other issues are.
All right, C.J. Gardner to the Lions.
Considering they didn't pay much for him 1 year, $8 million, which is a really weird deal for him because he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He is a ball hawk kind of safety. He's a tone setter kind of guy as well. I'm glad he's off the Eagles. I'll say that. I didn't like him on the Eagles because he's a good player, and I think it's probably a B+ for the Lions. They're loading up on the secondary now. They're going to be a good little team. If Jared Goff plays complimentary football, Lions are going to win that division. I'll go ahead and call that now. They're going to be better than the Vikings. Yeah, they will be a good team next year. It's their time. They'd be good.
Now that's all I have on my list. You got any that you want to mention? Any at the top of the head that I might miss or anything you know? Because I kind of skimmed through Instagram or like.
Did we ever talk about Derek Carr going to the Saints?
We did. Derek Carr to the Saints. There you go.
That's technically a free agency move.
Yeah.
I think it's a C as well, kind of like Jimmy G move, because the Saints are also in denial.
Yeah.
Well, they're in denial worse than the Raiders, because the Raiders actually have like some guys in the wide receiver core and stuff, and like Josh Jacobs, who was the best running back last year.
Yeah. And
what do the Saints got? Old Alvin Kamara, who's still okay. Chris Olave is good, but like you're in denial.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the new Colts, like they were the past couple of years. You're like you see the vision, but they're just never that good.
Yeah.
It is the NFC, and the NFC's weak, so they could get in because their division's bad, but they're probably a first-round exit if they get in, maybe. Yeah. So,
and they gotta be careful going with Derek Carr because he had like the best roster he's ever had. I mentioned multiple times on the podcast, but Derek Carr had the best roster he has ever had last year, and he was not good. So they're gonna have to figure that out with Derek Carr. All right, any more you want to mention?
I can't think of any. Off the top of my head, they're really notable, so we got most of them.
All right, well, let's move on to March Madness. We are in the Sweet 16. So we had two options here. I was thinking we could either rank all the Sweet 16 teams, or we can go through each game and make our prediction. I thought we always do our predictions in the games, so let's mix it up. I saw another podcast do this. I was like, we should. Sweet 16 rankings, we're going to rank all 16 Sweet 16 teams. I told you to do it from best to worst, but it don't really matter because you had the list. We'll go from 16 down. So we'll do worst. Deal?
Okay.
All right, you want to start with 16?
Yeah, I got Princeton.
Yep.
No disrespect. It's just Cinderella things happen. I can't say you're great because you beat Arizona, but hey, great win. I respect that win. Ivy League going to the Sweet 16, pretty good. So
yeah, I agree. My 16 is also Princeton. classic Cinderella story right now, and that's how they are. But
Yeah.
I will say this: out of all the teams on here, I know there's one team you would rather win than all the teams on here. But for me, I'd love to see Princeton. I think that'd be awesome. So, but yeah, I mean, you know how things. 15. Wow, they're a high seed. I don't think people realize that. They have not really, out of all the Cinderella teams, they haven't been talked about at all. Really, I never hear anything about Princeton. And I mean, it's incredible what they've been able to do. So shout out Princeton, but you're the worst. Sweet. All right, move on to 15 for you.
Yeah, real quick. The reason you not heard about Princeton is FDU beat Purdue. That's the only reason why.
That's true.
But yeah, my 15 is Miami. I believe they're the last ACC school left. If I'm not crazy, they are. I believe. Yeah, I think so. They're not really. I think they're a good team, but Houston's coming for them. Houston might end up killing them.
Okay.
So, but I think Miami's okay. I think they're an okay little team, but they're not. I don't think they're better than anybody else on this list.
Okay. All right, at 15, I have FAU. I think FAU is a really good team. I think all the teams from FAU down are really good. So no shot to Princeton, but I think all the rest of these teams are really good. I still think FAU has an issue of not facing the big schools as they have it as deeper in, and I think that catches up to you when it comes down to finals. So I think who they play. Is that who Tennessee plays at FAU?
Yeah.
I would be very shocked if they first. I know you don't want to hear that. You're going to say what it was because you don't want to jinx it. You don't want to jinx it. But if they do, I don't see how much going for. I think talent is going to be depth. 15 FAU. Go to 14.
Okay, my 14 is Michigan State. I can have my bracket or the bracket right here. I forgot who they've even beaten. They got a good win over Marquette. That's who they just beat. It's a pretty solid win.
Yeah.
I think all the teams on this list are good except Princeton as well. So it's like no disrespect.
Yeah.
They got to be ranked somewhere. They just happen to be ranked low. So Michigan State's a solid team. They also beat you. I had them losing the first round, so I respected them. I had USC beating them. But hey, good little run they're on right now.
All right, my 14 is my hot take. It's my hot take. At 14, I have Arkansas. Okay. I have Arkansas at 14 for their regular season performance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have they played kind of the Arkansas basketball we've been expecting the entire year now? A little bit. They're picking it up a little bit. But I still think that team will eventually crumble. Good teams, listen. March Madness is so long. You play so many games in March Madness that you have to not only be hot in March Madness, you also have to be good. And I think Arkansas's good. But I don't think they're better than some of these other teams. I think they're just hot. That's the way I have Arkansas. So Arkansas 14.
Yeah, I agree with that. So 13 now. I have Xavier.
Huh.
They are a 3 seed, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah.
They're another really, really good team this year. They played as well. I can't remember. They're about to go up against Texas. That's a big old game. I think Texas probably end up winning that game. Xavier beat Pitt. Xavier's not really playing nobody, I don't think, so far. But good little team.
I could see that.
So I don't really know much about Xavier, I'll be honest. So
I could see putting Xavier there. I have it Xavier a lot higher, but I see what you're coming from. At 13, I got Michigan State. Same reasons you mentioned Michigan State for being 14 for you. I just have them 13. So let's move on to 12.
My 12 is Creighton. Kind of a March Madness mainstay. They're in it like every year. I don't know a lot about these. I have no idea about the small schools like that. I can't even make up stuff to talk about. They're a good little team. I don't know.
They are.
Can't pretend.
Out of all the Creighton
good
teams,
win over Baylor.
That's true. Out of all the Creighton teams that they've had in these last couple of years, this is probably one of their worst ones they've had, and they're still here in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I also have Creighton 12. Completely agree with you. But like you said, they're a mainstay team. They're here like every year. Just I still think the other teams ahead of them are better than them this year. I think Creighton, like I said earlier, their other teams are just better than this team, and this team is just a little weaker. And they're. I will say this though, their coach, whoever it is, performs in March Madness. They win, and I'll give them credit. So move on to 11.
11. I have FAU at 11. I'm sticking
Okay.
to my guns because we didn't get to do our brackets, but I would have had them beating Purdue in the second round. So I was like, they were my little team to go on a little kind of Cinderella. 9 seed's pretty Cinderella, I guess, a little
Right.
bit.
Yep.
I think they have a really good offense. The defense that showed up against FDU, but FDU is trying to go on a historic run here, so you
Yeah.
can't. I think it'll be easy to beat that kind of team after beating Purdue like that.
Yeah.
So I think FAU's got a good offense. I think that game against Tennessee, it'll come down to who's more physical. I think Tennessee's more physical, so that kind of gives you my prediction. But I think it'll be a good game, though. I think FAU will shoot the ball really well against Tennessee, but it'll just come down to kind of the game in the paint. And Tennessee's been really getting a lot of dunks. So I've not watched a lot of Tennessee this year, but dunking the ball a lot. And I think that's what will be the downfall of FAU.
Okay.
Kind of inside stuff.
At 11, I have San Diego State. Team has not impressed me as it has impressed other people. Don't think like the points they put up aren't like I don't know. San Diego State. I think they're kind of bland. Basically, I think they're kind of bland.
Okay.
I'd never hear anything about San Diego State, so when I was making this list, I was like, hey man, San Diego State's going at 11 because I don't know where to put them. So and the other teams I've at least watched play and think they're. So I got San Diego State. So go to 10.
Okay, my 10 is Arkansas. Kansas wouldn't impress me because I wanted to pick them to win it all this year, but I didn't. Arkansas, this run's definitely helping. I know their coach wasn't going to get fired, but after the disappointment the regular season was, they were projected to be a 1 or 2 team, and they were supposed to be like easily SEC champions this year.
Yeah.
Preseason talk, like easily. No one even come close to Arkansas. Big disappointments. But getting back to the Sweet 16, pretty good form. I like their odds to win. I don't know who they play. I keep forgetting. I don't know. Miami. Or not Miami. UConn. It's a tough game there.
Yeah.
UConn's a tough game. But Arkansas's good. Solid little team.
At 10, I have Miami. You have them a lot lower than I have them.
Whew.
I got Miami 10.
ACC bias?
It might be a little bit, but I actually think Miami's a really good team. They have a lot of veterans on their team, and I think that's what makes them good. Like college basketball is a lot different than college football. Where college football, you can have freshmen come in and make like impact and stuff. In college basketball, you really make long runs in terms of be a vet. People that haven't just went to the NBA, and freshmen often do struggle in college basketball a lot of times.
Yeah.
And Miami has a bunch of them. I mean, this roster. I mean, I'm a Clemson fan. Watch them play Miami all the time. I've recognized people on that team that I've seen like 3 years ago. So I know they got veterans, and I trust them to go deep with that. So go to 9.
9. My 9's Kansas State. I saw the light for Kansas State when I watched them play Kentucky and beat them. I was like, dude, this team don't play defense, but they could score. They just chuck stuff up there, and it always goes in. A lot of clutch threes they hit because Kentucky kept getting the lead on them. They get right back, and they finally got the lead at the end and beat them. I like seeing that. I don't like Kentucky, so props to Kansas State for that one. I think they're pretty good.
At 9, I have UConn. This is another team I have.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Little hot take.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about UConn. I know they are a good team. I am throwing them at 9 just for like a similar reason why I had Creighton at 12, FAU at 15 is the lack of competition they play throughout the year, and that's why I'm going UConn at 9 because I like the other competitive. I'm really high on the SEC outside of Arkansas, so they fill up a lot of the higher spots.
Okay. 8. My 8, San Diego State. You weren't impressed with them. I kind of was.
Okay.
They were talking about them a lot in the pre-games and stuff, saying like they weren't even playing their best basketball, and they were still like they can win in a lot of different ways. Kind of what I took away from that, what they were saying. That's true. They might be able to win their next game. I think
True.
Them and Kansas State, I could have put Kansas State ahead of them in hindsight, I think, looking back now, but it's close between those two for me.
At 8, I have Tennessee. Tennessee, I got your boys at 8. The only thing that scares me about Tennessee and why I have them at 8 is because when they're on, they're top 4. But when they're off, they just sometimes seem to lose the teams they shouldn't. And that's what scares me about the FAU game. That's the only thing. I can sit here and talk about them all I want because they're not my team. Like, you gotta be careful. I can say whatever I want. Tennessee, I think, should beat FAU. However, if they come out playing FAU and they have their random down game that Rick Barnes likes to have occasionally, if they have that game FAU will take advantage of that. Because like you said, FAU scores. They do. Score a lot of points. So that's the only thing that scares me about having the confidence to put Tennessee higher is when's the off game coming. And they have Duke was a great win. Very high praise with the Duke win. I really like that win. But also things are lining up for Tennessee. They beat FAU. It could be nice. They could have a little path. Just don't have that game.
Yeah. Speaking of Tennessee, my 7 is Tennessee. They're kind of a weird team right now. I'm kind of shocked about this run because this is their worst team they've had in a while. I think since they've been like in March Madness pretty consistently, and I did not expect them to beat Duke. I had Duke beating them on my bracket, and Tennessee's my team. So I was really impressed by that win. Almost a double-digit win, I think. It might have been 9 points.
Yeah.
They do have favorable matchups, so FAU is definitely a game they could win. It'll be Kansas State or Michigan State. Both those games are really winnable. So Tennessee could make a run. Losing Ziegler, I think, is the reason it will probably keep them out of the Final Four, maybe. If they had Ziegler right now playing this the way they're playing, I think they could have made a real run, deep run in this tournament. But yeah, they're kind of the end of my like good teams. After this on my list, it's all like the top dogs.
Yep. At 7 for me, I have the team that you're completely opposite on. I have Xavier at 7. I think out of the small schools, there's one more on here. I don't know if you count Houston as small, but outside of Houston, there's one more small school I have left, and then the rest of them are big. But Xavier has impressed me with their actual talent and depth talent and how they are able to still perform. That's what the big schools and the little schools have outside. Little schools always seem like they have these incredible starting 5, but the depth is weaker. Where the depth is weaker. And then the bigger schools maybe not have like the greatest starting 5, but everyone's good. From the bench that comes on, subs. But Xavier seems to have the starting 5. Like they remind me of what's the team there? They remind me of Old Crate. They remind me of not a team that's gonna win it, but a team that's gonna go far. So I like it Xavier at 7.
Okay. My 6 is UCLA. Only reason they're not a spot or two higher is I think they had another guy get hurt pretty bad at the end of their last game. They already come to the tournament with injury issues. It's one of the reasons I was going to pick them to win it this year until I heard that. A little injury problems, but they're still really good. UCLA is usually a really good team almost every year, I think. Yeah. So.
All right. At 6, I have Kansas State. Mainly because of the Kentucky win. That impressed me a lot. And I'm really high on the Kentucky win. I really thought they were. So, very impressed with the Kentucky win. So I put them.
Okay. My 5 is UConn. They were one of the teams, like, they have all those, like, special statistics that these teams are the only ones that could, like, statistically win it this year and all the models. UConn's one of them. They've been really solid in the tournament so far.
Yeah.
They've not really been tested necessarily yet. I mean, St. Mary's was their hardest game. They're about to go against an Arkansas team coming off that Kansas win. So, be a good test for them. I got UConn. UConn's good. They, I didn't realize they were even supposed to be that good this year. Because I always remember UConn for their women's basketball teams they used to have and stuff. Yeah. I didn't realize the men's basketball that was good all of a sudden. So,
at 5, I got Gonzaga. Big Final Four team. I think that's where they'll end up as the Final Four. Gonzaga's good every year, and I think it's really helping them a lot that they don't have the pressure of being a 1 seed. And I think they're showing it. So I got 5 Gonzaga.
Okay. My 4 is Texas. Really hot team coming in the tournament. They are really impressed me regular season this year, beating Kansas 3 times. I think they swept Kansas this year in the regular season. That's about as impressive as you can get. Correct me if I'm wrong. They won their conference tournament, did they not?
Yeah,
Texas. Okay, well that's even there. You go. There's them. Oh, again. Okay, well there you go. That might have been the 3rd time they played them. Then there you go. That makes sense. But yeah, Texas riding a hot hand right now. I got them going pretty far. I think they're really good. Really good team.
At 4, I have UCLA. Got them a little higher than you. Honestly, I didn't even know about the injuries, so maybe I should drop them because of the injuries. But I was thinking pre-injury UCLA, so that's why I got them.
Yeah. My 3 is Gonzaga. That's who I got winning in my tournaments. I'm a little biased. Got to see the Zags win this year. Drew Timme, I think he's in his 4th or 5th year now. He's old. He's playing some really good basketball. He's a leader of that team. I like him to go all the way. I like Gonzaga to go all the way. No, they're not the best team.
Yeah.
It's March Madness for you, though.
Yeah.
So it don't matter.
That's funny that we both have the team that we think's winning at 3. I got Texas at 3.
Yeah. Because they're not better than the next two.
No, they're not.
But
I got Texas at 3. Hook 'em horns, baby. Like you said, like when you were talking about Texas, very impressive throughout the regular season, and that's what I'm looking for. A lot of old guys on that team too. A lot of vets. I like the vets, so I like Texas there. They're like a better Miami.
yeah, Miami's okay. Yeah. 2, I got Houston. Really great regular season. Only lost like 3 games. They have the kind of record that the tournament winner has. Barely any losses, and it's been a 1 seed to win it multiple years in a row. So they definitely got that on their side. I just think they're lacking a little bit of I don't know. The team above them's got tested more. We'll say that. That's what I'll say. Team above them's got tested more. Better conference.
Yeah.
So
I also have Houston too, so I'm not going to repeat what you said, and we both have Alabama 1. So I'll take over Alabama. SEC, best conference in basketball this year, and they won. It's just that simple. So you win the best conference, especially in basketball, that means a lot more. Well, it means anything. It means a lot in all sports if you win the best conference. But especially in like basketball when you get around to a tournament, Alabama's a real deal. But unlucky for them that they're the best team. They couldn't be the second best. That almost erases all chances of them winning it. But good for Alabama. They are the best team. All right, let's move on. MLB. We got NL East predictions and NL Central predictions today. We'll start off with your division, Jake, the NL East. Give me your bottom team.
Well, it's the Nationals.
Yeah.
I can't really miss that one. They are a rebuilding team. They got a couple really young dudes that are going to be kind of terrorizers of that division here in a couple of years, but not this year.
Yeah.
Ain't their year this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos out there of how the Nationals have like ruined their future a little bit and stuff. They're very interesting. Very interesting. But I got the Nationals at the bottom. Ain't nobody there for them. Who you got next?
4 is a good. They're going to be like potentially a really sleeper team this year because this division is good. I got the Marlins. They're going to ruin the team I have next chances this year a little bit at like a high seed. They're going to ruin it. My prediction is that one of the big 3 in this division's hopes are going to be killed by the Marlins. Marlins are going to own them because they got Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, guys that will shut you down.
Yeah.
So you got Marlins at 4. Sneaky team.
I also have Marlins at 4. Same reason you mentioned. They have a very good pitching rotation, but they're missing bats, and that's really what.
Yeah.
They gotta get some bats, but you gotta get pitching rotation to keep it in any game. So, like you said, I could definitely see them being like a little bit. They could be the Rays.
Yeah.
They're the Rays.
Yeah, they are. I don't know about that. The Rays are actually good, but Marlins, they got Jazz Chisholm on MLB The Show cover, so it's their year.
That's true.
They better win it now. Your players on the cover of the game. So, my 3 could be a hot take. I got the Mets. I don't like Edwin Diaz getting hurt. I would have had him at 2, even though I don't like him. Edwin Diaz getting hurt's a big blow to that team. And Nimmo, I guess he's not really that hurt. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. But I think the reason the Marlins are going to get them is because the Mets lack pop. Get those couple of runs, and they have to string hits together usually, unless Pete Alonso's hitting like a million home runs like he can sometimes. Just like pop, and I think it's bad. And I like their rotation kind of, but I don't like how old they are. Scherzer, Verlander. Verlander's won a Cy Young, but he's like 40. I mean, how long could you really trust him for the entire season? The Mets will want to keep him out there, but I see late in the year they'll fade off a little bit like they usually do.
Yeah.
When you have an older pitcher rotation, that's going to happen. I think it'll happen again.
Yeah, at 3, I also have the Mets. They're not as hot take as you thought. I have the Mets at 3 as well. Mainly the same reasons you have, and it's shaping up to be that we have the exact same pick. This might be the first time we've had that same order for
maybe.
So yeah, I got the Mets too. Same reasons you mentioned. They're gonna fall off. They always do, chokers. And I like the bats and the Nets.
You cut out a little bit for me. I don't know if that was just me or the dang.
I like the bats for the next 2 teams above the Mets more.
Yeah. 2, I got the Phillies. They are a team. Well, the Braves felt the wrath of the Phillies last year. I don't want to see them to the playoffs. Having Trey Turner and Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, really good team. The rotation has not got crazy depth. They've upgraded their bullpen, which is their big weakness. But everyone knows their big weakness is their defense. They made some really clutch plays in the playoffs, but for a full 162-game season, defense is not good enough, really, to win the division, I don't think. But they're going to be a really good team.
Yep.
Really good team this year. I like the Phillies this year.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Phillies as well. Pitcher rotation's good. Bullpen's a little sus. It's getting improved though. I'm not as big as a critic on defense as other people are. I don't think it's as important in the MLB. I mean, you're in the MLB, you should be able to make routine plays. But I do understand what you're coming from. As a Boston fan, I understand there is there is a little value to defense. But I love the Phillies bats. I agree with you. I think they have a wild lineup.
Yeah, they do. My one's the Braves, obviously. I think they're going to win the division again. Kind of can't pick against them. I think it's hard to. People pick against them every year, but they always end up winning. I think they don't have many weaknesses. I think their biggest weakness right now is who's going to play shortstop. You know, they got 2 young prospects that might be good. They're announced today they're starting the veteran Orlando Arcia at shortstop to start the year, which is a really interesting decision. I kind of disagree with that decision. I've seen Arcia play. He's a fine player, but he not much for the future there, you know.
Yeah.
But great bull. They have the best bullpen in the National League, maybe. Starting rotation's looking great, especially with Strider having his first full real year. He had a real year last year, but, you know, starting off in MLB this year. He didn't start off in the MLB last year. Same with Michael Harris. Getting a really healthy Acuna back. And it's just all up, I think, for the Braves. They might be better than they were last year, which might be a bad thing for, you know, being the 1 seed or something. But
Yeah. Yeah, I also have the Braves at 1, and you've said it all, so I'm not going to repeat what you said. But I do want to give a shout out to my boy Spencer Strider, Clemson legend. Give a shout out to my boy. So. All right, let's move on to the NL Central. Who you got at the bottom of that one, Jake?
the Reds.
Yep.
The Reds. They have nothing going for them. They got Hunter Green, who's a good pitching prospect. That's all I know.
Yep.
So.
Yep, I got Reds at the bottom, too. Terrible. Suck.
Okay. 4. They're they'll be fighting with a 3 team for the 3rd spot in this division, but it's the Pirates. I want the Pirates to be good because I like watching all the old videos of them in the wild card against the Cubs. That place gets hype when they're good, but they're just never good anymore. I kind of like the Pirates, but not this year. Just, I don't know. Ownership.
I also have the Pirates, and you said they would be competing for 3. I think they're going to be more competing for that 4th spot with the Reds. I have the Pirates in the suck category as well with the Reds. And yeah, like you said, baseball needs a salary cap floor because it's like useless talking about the team at some point.
It is.
It's not even fun talking about them.
My 3 is the Cubs. I thought this team, I want to say overrated. They've gotten overrated, but they're kind of not expecting the playoffs. I just think some people think they'll be solid. I really don't like the Dansby Swanson contract, even though, you know, I like Dansby. Played for the Braves the past so many years. Pretty good player. But everyone, since he goes to the Cubs, everyone's acting like he's a dang superstar or something. Dude cannot hit consistently. Great glove, though. I'll give him that. Great glove. But that's their big signing. I'm not really that excited for. They got Seiya Suzuki again now. I like to see how he does in his 2nd year.
Yeah.
Coming from a Korea or Japan. I can't remember which one. But Cubs will be mid. They'll be a definition of mid this year.
This close. That close.
No.
I was that close to putting the Cubs above the Brewers. I was that close. I hate the Brewers and the White Sox. The Brewers are the American League White Sox. Bums is what they are. But at 3, I got the Cubs. Because I kept looking at the roster, and there was nothing there for me. I couldn't do it. I was waiting for one thing. I just needed one more, and they couldn't give it to me. So I got the Cubs 3. I think lack of talent will be their issue this year. Still young.
Okay, 2, I got the Brewers, but don't let that fool you. I believe they will be sellers at the deadline. This division sucks really bad. Being the 2 team in this division really ain't saying much.
No.
Brewers' window is closed. I believe Yelich was a bust signing a little bit, sadly. He won an MVP with him, I think, but after that,
You think the Marlins or the Brewers are better?
that's a really good debate, actually, because they're similar teams if you look at it. Hitting's meh, pitching's good, though. So, Brewers, starting rotation. Corbin Burns will be a Dodger at the deadline, sadly, I think. Something like that. Or a Yankee or somebody, maybe.
Surely not Yankee.
But probably
Surely
not.
not.
I think he's like a Dodger or something. Or a Brave, you never know. So, Brewers are 2. They're sellers.
Be a Red Sox. Anyway.
No.
Yeah, I got Brewers at 2 as well. Don't like the Brewers. They're boring. But I'm like really close to putting the Brewers.
I like their logo.
Yeah, they're close to being in the suck category though. They're close. They're almost there.
They are.
Yeah, the suck category is like a big net, and all the baseball teams are in like a little tiny puddle, and I just scoop.
Okay.
So
You
it
scoop them.
it takes a lot to get out of the suck category, and I'm throwing the Brewers in there. So, suck.
I felt bad. You probably don't feel bad for Brewers fans, but I do a little bit because they made the NLCS against the Dodgers a few years ago, and now they've had one of the better pitching rotations that have nothing to show for it. That's about over.
Hitting wins championships.
It does. It does. My one, obviously, is the Cardinals. They have one of the best infields in the entire MLB. Arenado and Goldschmidt are great, both MVP candidates. Here's the issue with this team, though. Their pitching rotation is mid. Adam Wainwright is old. He's super old. And they got Miles Michaelis. He's a fine little player. They got another guy who's good. I can't remember his name now. So they're like a good team. They're just a good team. They'll be a first-round exit, but they're good. They're a good team.
Yeah, they're losers as well. So like going into the playoffs, they will be a first-round exit. I agree. And they're lucky they're in the NL Central. Because no joke, if Boston was in the NL Central, I'd pick them to win the division this year. No doubt in my mind. Yeah, Cardinals. You can't be in the playoffs and get hit by the suck net, so I'll leave them out of it. But they're dang close, son. I tell you. Let the Brewers win this division, Cardinals. Let them do it.
Ooh.
Let them do it. We'll have a field day on the podcast with the Cardinals. We'll have it titled the Cardinals. That's what it's gonna be titled. I can't wait because I bet you all the money in the world. It would just make my day if Cubs won this division. I'm rooting for the Cubs. Go Cubs, man.
It'd be cool to see the Cubs in the playoffs. They are a hype team.
Go Cubbies. But, yeah, Cardinals, you're probably going to have like 79 wins and probably win this. Have fun with that.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
All right, last thing we'd talk about because I forgot about UFC, so we're not going to talk about it. So, WBC. Jake, get on your phone. Alex, who won, Japan or Mexico?
Alex Verdugo hit a go-ahead run.
Done. There we go. Well,
all the Boston players are playing good in that game.
Good song. We show up when it matters. We just can't get to
Japan won 6-5. What a game!
Wow.
They had a walk-off.
Who hit it?
But Ohtani, I think they hit a walk-off double, and Ohtani was one of the guys that scored.
It wasn't Boston GOAT, was it? Boston legend?
It was Murakami.
Oh.
No. He had a 3-run home run, though, to put him back in the game.
Let's go.
All the Boston guys are playing good.
I hope we're good. That'd be awesome. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. All right. That leaves it then. USA versus Japan. What a good WBC this is.
Good one.
It's
a good one.
Obviously, we both got USA, right? Raw. You know what I'm saying? Raw.
Oh, USA better win that.
Yeah. But I'm sure the GOAT Lance Lynn will be on the mound for us again and just handle business. But I had to mention WBC because it's been awesome this year. I think it's been really good for the sport. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing it continue to happen. And I hope the more popular it gets, the better players we see in it. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to baseball season. I can't wait for MLB to start. I can't wait to see how Boston is. And especially for you, the Braves. They should be really good this year. So you got a lot to look forward to. But,
go ahead. About WBC, there's a rumor that Shohei Ohtani might start. If he starts, USA ain't winning. That's all I'm saying. Well, there's a pitch count, so no, they don't really matter. Just get him through a few innings. I forget there's a pitch count. Better game.
If he starts, that might be a must-watch right there.
It's already a must-watch, I think. I think it's a good game right there. Yeah. Japan, because I watched that video I was telling you about a day or two ago. Like the Japanese, this is their thing, dude. Yeah. This is their, soccer World Cup.
They care.
They're a baseball country. And this is a big deal for that country. And I think USA's going to steal it from them. And I can't wait.
I hope so. Hope so. We need Trey Turner to continue being the GOAT. All right, Jake. What's your Jake question of the week? What you got cooking?
I was going to say something about UFC. We didn't talk about anything UFC.
I know. I totally forgot about the card.
We talked about the John Jones card.
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about Usman then a little bit. So Usman loses again to Leon, obviously. Yep. Is he done? Does he get? Will he fight Dricus du Plessis?
It's awesome. I think Dricus du Plessis.
It's a good fight. But...
I think Dricus du Plessis is the fight. I think it is.
I think he'll beat him, but Usman's done. That's my little hot take. No, it's a hot take. What?
I don't know if Usman's gonna beat him. Middleweight's different.
Dricus du Plessis.
Middleweight's different.
Yeah.
I mean, Usman looked bad, dude, and Leon looked bad too.
I wonder why that is. I forgot he was middleweight. I wonder why everyone's talking about that fight then.
Because
they want
Usman to go middleweight, yeah.
That is a go to middleweight starter fight, actually. Because then when Pierre knocks out Izzy again, just do Usman and Pierre.
Yeah.
Oh, also, about Leon already being a bad champion, not accepting the Colby fight if he gets offered. Bad champion.
No, I don't think it's a bad champion. I don't think it's a bad champion.
The belt off him.
No.
Leon lost all my respects after this fight. I hate Usman. I don't hate him. I don't like Usman. That said a lot, dude. I told you during the fight, I'm starting to pull for Usman because of the crap Leon's pulling in this fight, dude.
It was cheap with all the cheating. But I actually don't think, I have a hot take about this. I don't think he's in the wrong not to accept the Colby fight.
I agree. I'm just kind of making fun of him. But
I'll tell you why. Because he actually, this isn't worth talking about. Because he's kind of getting screwed a little bit. Because he set out, and they made him fight again. They made Leon fight. They made him fight. They were going to make him fight Hazmat. But then Hazmat had to pull out. Yeah. And then Colby gets to set out, and he gets to fight Masvidal. And he just gets to have a belt. The only reason Leon got to fight Nate Diaz and get a belt shot is because Hazmat had to pull out against him. He would have had to fight Hazmat, and he'd been dead, and he wouldn't have been here right now. So it's kind of like it's kind of cheap that Colby gets just the offer, and also like you're gonna have like Bel Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov fighting. I understand. Like I'm on for Colby. Just have Colby fight one more time. That's it. Just let him fight one more time. Him and Hazmat's the fight to make. It's clear. In my opinion, winner gets title shot. If Hazmat's not fighting welterweight, then it's Bel Muhammad and Colby. Winner gets a title shot. It's that simple. Leon just fought. Give him a little time. I don't think Colby deserves a title shot, but I think they want it for the views, and that's fine. I get that. UFC, that's how they roll. That's okay. But I'm just saying, if he doesn't take it, I think there is valuable reason not to take it.
There is.
Yeah.
I could tell you the reason. The UFC's master plan, and I've told you this like a little while ago. Master plan is for Conor McGregor to beat Michael Chandler at welterweight and then fight Colby Covington, who just got his belt for the first time, a real belt, as a fight week, like International Fight Week headliner. They're like John Jones in that card to like the best card of all time. That's what they want. But it probably gonna happen because they both have to win and there's likely they both lose.
Yeah. Conor and Colby's. I couldn't imagine that press conference. That would
be the best conference of all time.
That
best press conference of all time.
Dude, wild. The stuff that'd be said. They'd have to they might not be able to air that. You might have to buy that.
Just put Sean Strickland or just for the heck of it.
Yeah, throw him on there, let him fight some bum, and just let him talk the whole time. He'll just randomly stand up and start yelling for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny. Hour long right here. Hour long. We're about to hit it. A couple minutes off that 10. But good podcast. You got anything else you want to mention?
Nope.
All right, that will do it for this podcast. We'll see you guys next week, which will be the last podcast before the MLB season starts off.